Teachers, what's the most traumatizing thing you ever found out about a student? I used to teach biology at a middle school, and we were preparing for our annual dissection unit. There are strict safety protocols that must be followed, and one of the most important rules is that students must roll up their sleeves and remove any loose clothing before handling the specimens. But Sarah, a reserved girl who always sat near the window, was wearing her usual long-sleeved cardigan and seemed reluctant to follow the procedure. She always dressed in layers, cardigans, long pants, closed-toe shoes, even on the hottest days. When I approached her desk and explained that she needed to push up her sleeves for the lab, she quietly asked if there was any way she could keep them down. I found her request unusual, but safety regulations exist for good reasons, so I gently insisted that she follow the protocol like everyone else. As she slowly rolled up her sleeves, I glanced up at her face and almost gasped out loud. Her forearms were covered in what were clearly deliberate marks, some old and faded, others more recent. Her eyes immediately filled with shame and embarrassment, while mine filled with shock and concern. I quietly told her we needed to visit the guidance counselor's office, making sure she understood she wasn't in any trouble whatsoever. As we walked through the empty hallways, I struggled to maintain my composure. When we reached the counselor's office, I briefly explained the situation to Mrs. Henderson, our guidance counselor. She initially asked me to step outside, but Sarah requested that I stay in the room because she felt more comfortable with me present. What she revealed to us was absolutely devastating. She explained that her father had severe anger management issues and would often take his frustrations out on her when her mother wasn't around. She described how he would lock her in the basement for hours at a time, sometimes without meals, whenever she made even the smallest mistakes like forgetting to do dishes or getting less than perfect grades. She told us this treatment had been going on for most of her life, and she genuinely believed it was normal because it was all she had ever known. The physical marks were her way of coping with the emotional pain and feeling like she had some control over her situation. We immediately contacted Child Protective Services, and they launched an investigation that resulted in Sarah being removed from her father's custody. Unfortunately, she had no other family members who could take her in, which meant she would likely enter the foster care system. Having grown up in foster care myself, my heart broke thinking about this brilliant, sensitive girl being shuffled between different homes after everything she had already endured. I did the only thing that felt right. I asked the social worker if I could begin the process to become her guardian. Sarah's reaction was overwhelming. She broke down crying and nodded through her tears, saying she had never imagined that someone would actually want to take care of her permanently. The legal process took several months, but eventually I was approved as her legal guardian. It's been 8 years since that day in my classroom. Sarah just finished her sophomore year of college where she's studying social work, and she wants to help other children who have experienced trauma. She still has difficult days, but she's learned healthy coping strategies and has built an incredible support network of friends and mentors. Sometimes the most important lessons we teach happen outside of our curriculum, and sometimes our students teach us just as much about resilience and hope as we teach them about science.